All right, guys. Before we get started, I have a question. Do you have a CFO, a chief financial officer?
Financial officer.
I'm going to be guessing that
you probably don't.
But you don't realize it. But you do. And it's you. That's one of the big problems with small business owners. A lot of them don't realize the various hats that they wear in the business. If you don't have a CFO, guess what? It's you. If you don't have a chief marketing officer, well, guess what? It's you. And the sooner we as small business owners realize that sort of thing, the better off we're all going to be. So the reason I bring that up is that this really dives into the last video, and this one really dives very much into the way the finance people are going to look at it. You as a finance person, it could be a lender or somebody else. Before we move into the leverage ratios, one other thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's not a ratio per se. It is a very important number. It is called net working capital. And strangely enough, it's the exact same formula as the current ratio. Except instead of dividing, we're subtracting. Okay. And that is really all that we're doing there. Okay. And in this case, it's good news. We have positive working capital. So I'm going to circle back to these numbers for just a second. If you are less than 1, that means you've got more current liabilities than you do current assets. Not good. So we want to make sure that we always have one or more. And the other thing that I wanted to mention on these ratios is that good or bad is dependent on industry. Okay. And I'm going to think about things from a service perspective for just a moment, and talk a little about like my business. A lot of my business is recurring in nature. The revenues are very predictable. If I lose a client, then my revenues are going to go down a bit. If I gain clients, then I know that my revenues are going to go up on a month basis. Now, if my accounting practice did something completely different than the bookkeeping, accounting, and financial reporting for somebody, for some of our clients, let's say it's more project-based. We go in, we do a project for some sort of accounting cleanup. It's one and done type of a thing. Well, the way I manage these numbers is going to be very, very different. I may be perfectly happy as an accountant that has recurring revenue every single month than one that is project-based. If I'm project-based, I may want to say I want to have a 2 or 3 or a 4 current ratio or even a cash ratio that high. So it depends on where you fall on that spectrum. Anyway, I wanted to make sure we talk about net working capital because that number is the surplus over and above what you have relative to current liabilities. Okay. So just wanted to kind of recap a little bit on the liquidity ratios, but now we'll dive into the leverage ratios. Again, I love these numbers because they really tell you where you stand with respect to your business. Okay, let's talk about leverage ratios. Leverage ratios are really going to communicate to you as well as a lender how leveraged the business is, how much debt is the business using, how much equity is the business using. So the first ratio is called the debt to assets ratio. And I like this because it takes your total debt and it divides it by your total assets to determine a ratio. You can think of this ratio as the percentage of the business that you don't actually own. And we mentioned also in the last video that the trend is your friend, right? So there it is. Last. Relative to last month. And let's take the difference. We'll just copy our formula from up above, and it went down. Okay. Now on the asset side, on the liquidity side, we want those numbers going up, right? If our current ratio is going up, it means we have more assets or fewer liabilities, which we like. On the debt to assets ratio, on that number, that means our total debt is going down. Our number went from 0.66 to 0.6. So it went down a net number of 0.6. We like that number. Okay. So that's a positive for us. Now our next formula, our next ratio is going to be equity to assets. And equity to assets is basically the same calculation, but we're pulling it from a different place. We're going down to total equity, and we're dividing that number by total assets. Now, the thing I want you to notice on both of these is if we sum these up, both of them, we come up with 100%. Okay. So these equal out. The equity to assets ratio is basically your portion of the business. Okay. And again, the trend is your friend. Our ratio increased by 0.6 over that period. Now, do we want to have more equity or less equity in the business? Simple question, right? It's not so hard, this stuff, is it? So our equity position went up, our debt position went down. That's a win for us, right? Now, there may be other reasons that the equity number goes down. And we'll talk more about that. I mean, the one thing that you've got to realize with financial statements is that it doesn't always, numbers don't always tell the whole story. I absolutely love numbers. Numbers are awesome. Know your numbers, right? But there are times where numbers don't tell the whole story. Okay. But anyway, in this particular case, our equity is on its way up. We like equity. All right. We want equity going up. That's a positive. We want debt going down. As a general rule, that's good. Okay. So the last one. This one can be a little bit quirky. So I want to talk about this very carefully. So with August being our baseline number, we have total debt divided by total equity. All right. So what this is basically saying to us is that we have 1.5 ratio here, meaning that there is 50% more debt than there is equity. Okay. If we copy that into our July month, we saw a big dive in that number. So that's good, right? In this particular case, we want that number going down. So when we look at July, we had almost twice as much debt as we had equity. So we did a good job of paying down debt. during the month of August. You see how that works? So in this case, we've got that number going down. That's good. All right. So you don't want to be that guy walking into the bank not knowing his numbers. All right. Because your lender is looking at these numbers. Okay. So you need to be prepared to have discussions about these numbers. Now, before we move to the next video, I wanted to close by talking about the difference between good debt and bad debt. And we touched on it a little earlier. I want to dig into it a little bit deeper here. Is good debt is debt where you've taken the proceeds and you've done something that is going to help you and your business generate more revenue. Now, if you've taken a loan and you've bought an expensive car for you and your family to just drive around, that car is not going to generate any revenue for you. If you have a service-based business and you need to go from town to town, and you know what? Here's a really good example. A truck. Let's say you've got a semi-truck and you're transporting goods from place to place. That vehicle is generating revenue for you. So is the driver, but that vehicle, you couldn't do that job without that vehicle. So if you got a loan to buy an additional tractor trailer, that's good debt. If you're going out and buying a Lamborghini or an expensive Mercedes or whatever, that's bad debt. And I don't mean bad debt with respect to accounts receivable. I mean, that's not good use of loaned money. All right. So as usual, if you guys have questions about anything that we've talked about, put them in the comments. Something that you want me to discuss on these videos, put that in the comments, and don't forget to follow us. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you in the next video.